Yes, we are live. So, welcome back, my dear friends. This is episode number 100 on the Zero Point Healing Show. I'm really excited. This had been one of my major milestones that I had when I started off with this beautiful interview show. So, today is the day of me hitting my milestone. So, that's number 100th episode here. And today we are going to talk about this beautiful modality called the body code. It is one of those modalities that I really love because of the kind of impact that it can have, as well as it covers so many different areas that can be addressed using this modality. And in fact, we are going to talk about how we can use body code to relieve the pain as well as improve our lives and create a joyful life for ourselves. That's the topic for today, and I have an amazing body code practitioner as my guest for today. But before I move on to her, just a short intro about me. I'm Vishnupriya, and I had completed multiple different holistic healing modalities. I got certified in it. And each of these beautiful modalities helped me open up to new possibilities in my life. Each of these modalities opened new doors to me. And when I did get started with holistic healing, I was not in a very good position in my life with regards to the finance and my career. But I think I was able to kind of help myself come out of the deep hole that I was in using these beautiful modalities. I call them the tools that I have in my toolbox. And this has kind of helped me create, it has showed me that there is unlimited potential that I can reach. And with these beautiful tools, I can use them to fix myself. So that's what these modalities had been for me. And through this beautiful journey, I got inspired to create this kind of a platform that I call the zeropointhealing.com. It is a web directory for all different holistic healing modalities. And there are so many different practitioners, facilitators, healers of all different modalities who are registered on the directory right now. So if you are a holistic healing practitioner yourself, I would invite you to zeropointhealing.com. You can register there. If you are a client looking for solutions to your life challenges, you might have something with regards to health or relationship or career or finance, regardless of which area of your life it is, holistic healing has a solution for you. So you can come on to zeropointhealing.com, look at so many different practitioners, see who can help you with your specific challenge, and go ahead and book a session, talk to them, and see how they can help you. So that's all about my introduction speech here. So I'm moving on to my beautiful guest. Welcome, Vinette. Thank you so much for being with me on this 100th episode. So tell us a little bit about yourself and
Thank you so
yes, tell us about yourself.
Thank you so much, and congratulations on your 100th episode of promoting healing on a worldwide basis.
Thank you.
Um, I'm a OBGYN physician, just doing office gynecology now, but my years and years of working with patients just created a burning curiosity about illness and wellness and how a person tries to heal. And I started working with a meditation academy about 20 years ago and learned about energy healing remotely and identifying blocks and traps in a person's body. And then the emotion code process was developed by Dr. Bradley Nelson. And I have been an emotion code practitioner since 2014. And then I decided this spring in the quarantine to study the body code, which is a much more extensive program that allows the practitioner to identify trapped emotions, imbalances, toxicities, and then correct them and help the client. So this is where my real passion is now.
That is so amazing. So, with regards to the emotion code and body code, maybe tell us just a short intro about what it is and how it can kind of help a person.
Well, I believe that we are made of vibrating molecules. We are made of particles. We are made of energy. Every little cell in our body, every particle ultimately is made of vibrating particles. And if we have something out of alignment, then the flow of our energy, our chi, can be disrupted. And if we have a trapped emotion stuck somewhere in our body, it literally is like having a frayed cord on your toaster. You just don't get that nice flow of energy. So the body code identifies where emotions are trapped. And then once we identify the emotion and release it, there's a flow of that energy again. Emotions can become trapped when they're really, really intense. Let's say you're standing in front of the World Trade Center watching them go down, and the fear and the terror and the rage that the person experiences watching something like that, it can't be processed like a normal emotion. And that's how emotions become trapped. And so the identification of the trapped emotion by muscle response testing then allows that emotion to come to the surface, and it can be released with a specific method that client. And so I can work with people all over the world. And it's very fulfilling. It's very profound, gentle, and it fits in with my understanding, my increased understanding of the human body. And this is about, electromagnetic forces. This is about energy wavelengths. So it's, I consider probably in the future, much more of Western medicine will be devoted to looking at this kind of wavelength energy. So I'm excited to be participating in something that is really helping clients right now today.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and I'm also looking forward to seeing that kind of world where everyone goes to holistic healing first and kind of does the inner work. So let's hope. I'm looking forward to that as well. So now let's move into the topic, the title of today, which is relieving pain first and then reaching that kind of joyful state. So would you first maybe want to mention a little bit about emotion code and the body code and how both of it is related, and how you can talk a little bit about these emotions and how that can be released and how that actually helps us relieve pain, for example?
Well, we have a massive amount of trapped emotions in our subconscious where we really aren't thinking about them or trying to correct them. And, if you think of a child who is 2 years old, let's say, and is not being listened to, is not being seen. I mean, when we are little and we come into this earth plane as a glowing bundle of light, and then no one sees our light, no one acknowledges us, that child can feel unworthy, unloved. And so if it's a very strong feeling, it can become trapped in the body. It could become trapped in the heart or any of the organs. And then you're walking around without the full benefit of all your energy flow happening. And even more severe traumas. Let's say you're 5 years old and you fall off your bicycle, and okay, maybe your arm wasn't broken or your leg wasn't broken, but you may have distorted the fascia and some of the connective tissue that holds the body together. And these are very subtle things. And this is part of why, as a Western medicine doctor, I didn't really pay attention to it 30 years ago. But I've worked with my body code patients and found there were many, many instances of old injuries. And my client would say, well, my arm wasn't broken, or, there was no blood. But these kind of distortions and misalignments can affect the way the energy flows through the whole body. Not only do we have the fascia, the connective tissue, we have our chakras, our energy systems. So when one of these areas is out of balance, it can prevent you from feeling well, and you may actually have pain. You may have pain where you have a trapped emotion that is acting like a block to let the energy flow through you. So the emotion code was what Dr. Nelson developed initially to release trapped emotions. But then with the body code, we can look at electromagnetic, radiation, toxicity, food allergies, allergies to other things, and release all those imbalances, correct imbalances, check alignments, and it can help the body move and flow with energy and pain. Excuse me. I have a fever. Pain can be released too. So it's a very profound process. And yet the client just needs to be receptive. If the person wants to heal something, and perhaps they've tried multiple other modalities, then the body code, and I should mention the body code incorporates more emotion code work. So it's a very profound process. And I've worked with children and animals. The animal doesn't need to speak to tell you what's wrong. Just the muscle response testing, the body will let the practitioner know what needs to be addressed.
Yes, and again, talking about pets, it's always, I think, amazing to see how they get healed, because I feel, compared to humans, pets have much less of resistance to receiving the healing that you were talking about. So I think at the end of the day, the clients, whoever come to it, should be ready to receive this healing, being receptive to the healing itself. So that's nice. So now let's talk a little bit about what happens in a session. So let's think, anybody watching this video would like to have a session. So tell us what happens within a session, as well as what kind of different challenges, problems can a client come to you for. You can talk about all the wide variety of issues that can be addressed using body code.
Yes. When I am speaking to the client, and it's pretty much all been by Zoom or Skype, this can be done very effectively remotely. It certainly can be done in person, but I will ask them on this day, what is it that is bothering them the most? Do they have pain? Do they have anxiety? And I like them to grade their distress, if you will, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the most severe pain a person could have, the most severe depression. And people will often have 2 or 3 different things that are really bothering them that day. Then I ask permission from higher power to work with them, and to work with them remotely. And using muscle response testing on myself, I set up an energetic connection. So it's as though I'm the client, but I'm not physically in their body or there, but I'm testing myself, and it's just as though I'm the client. And then we go through the whole process, and I'm very specific to disconnect our energies at the end of the process. That's very important. And so the process of muscle response testing will lead me from one particular trapped emotion to another, to an imbalance, to a misalignment. There's a point then when I ask if there are any more trapped emotions we can release that particular day. And then their body will say, no, I've done as much as I can today. And I honor that, because this energetic shuffling at the cellular level can it can feel a little overwhelming. And I advise people to allow themselves to see in dreams or images something that may have come up during their session that they don't really have a recollection of happening, for example, in their childhood. But the subconscious knows all this information. And so when the body has processed enough, then it'll say no more for today. Now, there may be other trapped emotions that will come forward at a later session, but I always honor that when the body has said, that's enough for today.
Wow, that's amazing. So it's going to be, when a client comes in and does it, it's going to be helping them release all of those maybe trapped emotions. And I know with body code, as you were telling, there are so many different things that it can go on to. So you said you would first ask them, what is it that is troubling them, and then see what are the kind of root causes of it, and then kind of start releasing those. So that is a nice, beautiful process in itself. So do you want to kind of maybe share a little bit about your clients' stories, maybe what kind of issues the client came to you for, how the session was for them, and then what happened after the session?
Well, I'd like to share about my daughter's dog. And I'm sure she would give me permission. But her dog broke a forearm running down slippery stairs. And it was a bad fracture that the dog needed to be taken to not just the vet hospital, but the specialty vet hospital and put to sleep and have a metal rod put into that forearm. Well, as a physician, I've taken many patients to the operating room, and I explained to them what's going to happen and that they're going to receive a general anesthesia and all this stuff. It's a little hard to explain that to a dog. So my daughter was willing to have me work with the dog. And if you can imagine, an animal is in pain from this break and then terrorized by going to this place where there are all these strange smells and other animal smells in the vet hospital. And then, the next thing, the dog is being put to sleep. How do you explain that to an animal? So I worked on, I set up that energetic connection with Apollo, this dog, and asked if there were trapped emotions. And of course, I got the terror and fear and pain. And these are emotions that would have remained trapped in this dog's body until they were identified and released. And of course, then I'm also sending lots of love and light to the healing process so the dog's bones, were healing correctly. And so that's an example of, if as a human you could understand that the animal is being, they're in pain and it's terrorizing. And then I also will share that my grandson, who is soon to be 3 years old, had 3 surgeries in the first 12 months of his life. And again, this is a nonverbal being. He knows you love him and you can hug him, but how do you explain that, oh, we're going to the hospital and you're going to be put on a gurney and you're going to go to sleep? And so with my daughter-in-law and my son's permission, I worked with my grandson after he had undergone these surgeries, and his body told me, yes, he had been terrorized and it was scary. And he felt, unsupported. Now, he's completely supported by his parents, but those were trapped emotions that I identified and released, because how do you know when you're just a little, 3-month-old baby? What is this all about? You're going away from mom and you're going to this strange place and there's some pain involved. So I think to release these trapped emotions from these, pre-verbal entities, whether it's an animal or a child, is critical so they don't have these things trapped in their body for the rest of their life. And I I just saw my grandson. He lives across the country from me, and he is doing great. So for the client, for my little grandson, it was just a matter of me touching his mother. She had her hand on him, so she was serving as the proxy, and we released the trapped emotions that way.
Wow. It's so amazing how the muscle testing, the one that you said as the muscle response, so how beautifully, I love this process of what you call the surrogation, which helps us to kind of surrogate whether it is a pet or a little baby that cannot really speak and give us the consent. And I feel that is like a huge leap that the holistic healing space itself has taken, that helps us to, give this beautiful healing even to pets and these beautiful children that you're talking about. So it feels so amazing, and all of this excites me. It's like it's opening up possibilities to all of these beings that we can, offer this gift. And tell us now a little bit about the kind of services that you offer, maybe the emotion core or the body core sessions, how it is, and how much time do you offer, if you have any programs, packages, etc. Tell us about that.
I do want to go back for 1 second to working with a nonverbal client, and you always want to get permission. So I wouldn't just be walking down the street and get a sense of some kid that, has a trapped emotion. You always want to get permission. And even in a comatose person, you want the guardians or the caretakers of that person's to agree that you can do this work. That's critical. You don't just, as I say, jump in and start working on someone without their knowledge.
Mm-hmm. And I also like how we can use the muscle testing to actually get, even if a person is in coma, I think you would always still check with their subconscious, superconscious, if you can work on them. I think that's also built in the process itself.
Yes, and the, for a pet, you want the owner, the caretaker of the pet to give permission. So it's, people have to have that receptivity, but even if they're in a coma, I can tune in and test where their trapped emotions are. So I have single sessions for the emotion code, and then I have a set of 3 sessions for the body code. And then there's 2 sessions of the body code too. I have found, and when I was certifying for the body code, I had to work with 20 women for 4 sessions each. And usually 4 sessions is good. You can really get to imbalances, toxicities, misalignments, and the person will really end up feeling much lighter, is often what people describe. And I've also had cases where someone at the very end of the session said she had back pain, identified a trapped emotion, released it, and instantly it was better. So this is how we hold on to these things in our body that we don't even know we're holding on to. And my website, healingtohealth.com, has a list of the different price categories. Pretty much everything I'm doing is by Zoom or Skype in this pandemic period.
Wow.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Wow, it's so amazing that we get to do all of these online as well. I think that again is a beautiful development that has happened. Previously when I was doing few of the sessions, only in person was kind of possible, but I think now it's like all over the world that we can do this online. So that's also beautiful. Thank you so much, my dear Vinette. That was so many different beautiful information. So my dear viewers, I hope you loved it as much as I did, as this beautiful, I think it's valuable content that kind of is spreading as we are doing all of these beautiful interviews. So if you would like to book a session with Vinette, you can click on the link right below this video and you can book a session with her. As well as we have a beautiful 10% off discount for you just for watching this video. So the discount coupon code is 0 Point. So when you contact her, do let her know that you found her from 0 Point, and she would be happy to give you that discount as well. Any final words, Vinette?
I am so appreciative of what you're doing, helping with healing on a worldwide basis. And I'm just excited to, in some small part, help with that process. So thank you so much.
Wow, thank you so much for those beautiful words. Thank you so much, my dear viewers. If you're watching this on YouTube, please do subscribe so you can watch more of such beautiful interviews that I'm doing here, as well as you can share this video. Especially, I think we did talk a lot about, how Vinette can help people even who are in coma or any kind of issues where somebody cannot speak and they have so much, health problem going on. I think all of these beautiful modalities can help even to that kind of extent. And of course, any kind of challenges that you're facing in your life as well, Vinette would be able to help you with that. So please do share this video with any friends, family members, anybody whom you think that this information would be valuable to. So thank you so much for all your support. I'll see you in my next show. Thank you, Vinette.
Thank you so much.
Yes, bye-bye.